welcome back again, dear viewers, with our special guest for today. 9th of December marks the International Anti-Corruption Day, the IACD, a campaign launched by the United Nations to raise public awareness on the seriousness of the corruption and its harmful consequences. Through this campaign, the UN urges both governments and individuals to stand against corruption that is considered an obstacle to sustainable development. From this perspective, Kuwait Anti-Corruption Authority (Nazaha) was established as per Law Number 2 of the year 2016 in response to the requirements of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Nazaha's establishment has been essential to Kuwait's legislative system as it benefits the higher interest of the country. To know more about the specialties of the functions of Nazaha, we are pleased to have with us today Ahmad Al-Othman. He is a senior media specialist, Kuwait Anti-Corruption Authority, Nazaha. So hello and good morning.
Thank you very much, Sarah. It's always a pleasure to be here with you guys today. And a special thanks goes to all the team, the Ministry of Information, for this great gesture.
The pleasure is us, actually, and you are most welcome. So we are now talking about the Nazaha and the, let's say, objectives and all of that. So in the beginning, can you tell us more about the International Anti-Corruption Day?
Yes, of course. So basically, I'm going to take you back to 20 years ago or 21 years ago. On the 9th of December of 2003,
yes,
more than 190 countries, came together and gathered because they saw there has been a widespread of corruption, throughout the globe. So they came and said, we have to take action. And that's where, on the 9th of December of 2003, all these 191 countries, they came together to sign the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, which is the only legally binding universal anti-corruption instrument we have here today.
Yes.
And this function, or the main objective of this treaty, is to, and I quote, it calls for preventive measures and the criminalization of the most prevalent forms of corruption in both the public and private sectors. So we have not only targeting the public sector, but also the private sector,
yes,
as well as the non-government organizations and the social society. And then I quote, and it makes a major breakthrough by requiring member states to return assets obtained through corruption to the country from which they were stolen. So basically, on the 9th of December, that's when the treaty was signed. Since then, it's been assigned as the International Anti-Corruption Day. And each country, they host some form of event, some sort of function, let's say.
Yeah.
In our case, we have the Nazaha Forum going on as we speak.
Wow, that's
Yes.
great. So let's talk about Nazaha and how actually Nazaha is celebrating, let's say, this day.
Yes. So basically, we're hosting our fourth forum. We've had 3 before that for the last 3 years. And every year there's a topic or a subject which we cover.
Yes.
And this year's main topic is measuring corruption and managing its risks. So we have entities from United Nations, we have entities local and private sector. I mean, it's inaugurated by His Excellency, the President of Nazaha, Mr. Abdulaziz Ibrahim. And then we're going to be having a speech from the United Nations Development Program, the UNDP. She's a resident representative in Kuwait, Ms. Emma Morley. And then we're going to be having also and hosting Mr. Tim Steele, the Anti-Corruption Senior Advisor in the UNODC, the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime. And then we're going to be hosting the State Audit Bureau, as well as the Central Bank of Kuwait, the Kuwait Petroleum Corporation, and
yes,
PricewaterhouseCoopers. And they're all going to be covering different, let's say, topics such as the best international practices in corruption risk assessment, as well as evaluating corruption and risks in public institutions.
It seems really an interesting and
Yes.
rich, let's say, forum that Nazaha really celebrating that day.
Yes.
So what are the specialties and functions of Nazaha?
Yes. So as you stated earlier, Nazaha was found under the law of 2016, the establishment of the Kuwait Anti-Corruption Authority and the provisions of the financial disclosure.
Yes.
So basically, Nazaha works in three different ways. We have a dedicated structural units in receiving and examining financial disclosure statements. We also have a department that's specialized in receiving reports from whistleblowers,
yes,
which we're going to be talking about later in the show, in a fully discrete area where CCTV is not even permitted. So you can imagine there's no CCTV where whistleblowers, they come to apply or even report any potential crimes. Even mobile phones, they're not permitted inside.
Oh.
Yeah, so nobody is permitted to be there unless you have, a clearance to be there, if you're like an employee in Nazaha.
Yes.
But if we're talking about as a whistleblower, you even get an ID. So you get a number. You don't get, your name is hidden, it's discreet. So just to maintain privacy,
Maintain the privacy. It seems really nice. So can you tell us more of Nazaha's anti-corruption efforts in collaboration with, let's say, the public entities?
Yes, so now we've spoken about the whistleblowing and the financial disclosure statements. An important aspect is the prevention. So we're trying to basically raise awareness, and 70%, actually more than 70%, of the law of Nazaha and the anti-corruption treaty, it speaks about the prevention part. So when we talk about the law undermines the importance of preventing corruption as much as combating it.
Yes.
Back in 2019, the late Emir Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jabr Al-Sabah, may Allah rest his soul, signed the Kuwait Integrity Anti-Corruption Strategy, which aims to create a blueprint for all entities in Kuwait. So we work with public entities, private entities, in trying to instill the values of integrity within the various sectors. So you spoke about, or the report even spoke about, the education sector, the health sector, the sports sector, and the infrastructure, and so on. And when we talk about the collaborations with different entities, we have various memorandums of understanding with different entities within Kuwait, where we do programs, sometimes internal campaigns or even external campaigns, as well as lectures. We have, the Friday speech in Salat al-Jum'ah. The last one was talking about the importance of combating corruption.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we do work with the Ministry of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs in such aspect. We have various initiatives with the youth public or the youth public authority. We had youth entrepreneurs who are new to the market or new to the business, and we gave them, some certain guidelines on how to, maintain the best forms of practices in the integrity section. We did some student competitions when it came to younger generations. We've had different collaborations with the Sports Public Authority, the Ministry of Education, we're going to be talking on next, inshallah, Kuwait University, even private universities, AUK, and so on. One important, I would say, project which we're really working on is the ADA project.
ADA.
Yeah, so it involves approximately 11 or 12 entities in the public sector, and it targets trying to execute the what do you call them, the code of conduct. So yeah, so each entity has its own code of conduct. So we're trying to maintain or try to execute the best form of possible of the code of conduct, which provides not only the rights for the employee but also for the workplace itself.
Yes, that's really amazing. So too many, let's say, private and public, let's say, entities are really supporting Nazaha. That's great. So let's talk now about, let's say, the education and how important education is in providing the values, let's say, integrity within the students.
Actually, it's very important. I mean, when we talk about especially the younger generation, and I think two of the main projects which we're really working on right now, and we have an example here. We have the we have the books for Nazaha. It's like a story which we made. It's called Under My Smart Glasses, and it's been translated into English and Arabic. So these stories or these novels, it speaks about a young student who goes to school and who basically wears the glasses and sees some form of something which is some small creatures that are basically, in another case, it's the corruption itself. And so he does a mistake, and he's trying to rectify the mistake. So when we go to students and schools, and we basically have the reading sessions with them, We try to emphasize on the importance of not only, I mean, everybody makes mistakes in the end.
Yes.
But most importantly is to learn from your mistakes.
Amazing.
This is what trying to the main objective.
Targets like, let's say, the very young age, the children.
Yeah, this is for the elementary, usually from 5 years, 6 years to 8 or 9 years.
Yes.
And we've seen some interactive sessions whereby students themselves, they came to read them and try to you know, interact with us.
Yes.
We have also some this is like a coloring book, or it's like an activity book, whereby it's mostly puzzles and you know, drawing pictures for students to come and, you know, try to create an enjoyment, you know, or like a, you know, some sort of like a fun atmosphere. This is another also book. It's called The Lost Eye. So this is about...
What does that mean, The Lost Eye? It's really strange
title.
So
it's regarding a student who goes to a museum.
Yes.
And there was one drawing or a picture that was missing from the wall, or it's different to what he has in mind. And then he notices that there has been some you know, there's wrongdoing in the story itself. So he comes forward and he reports this wrongdoing to the manager of the museum, and action has been taken. So he's trying to, you know, try to find where the wrongdoing was basically made. And that's where we're trying to promote students to, you know, if you see a mistake, you know, there's no wrong in trying to touch base on it, or just to come forward and you know, say to your teachers, even in school, as long as, you know, you learn from your mistakes in a way. Another program which I want to speak about is the Banki program. This is a bookmark.
Okay.
So this program, basically, it's a joint collaboration. It's a strategic collaboration between Nazaha, the Ministry of Education, and the National Bank of Kuwait.
Okay.
With the assistance of the Creative Confidence team, which work closely with the NBK. So basically, this program has started from young students. So these were students who recently graduated from the university. It's under the Tamakkan program, which is done and executed with the collaboration with the National Bank of Kuwait. And they came forward with this idea, which is basically a financial literacy program that's been now done in more than 62 schools, elementary schools here in Kuwait.
Wow, 62.
Exactly. So we have the public sector and the private schools also in Kuwait. It targets also the younger generations, the elementary, let's say from the 1st until the 5th class. And it's been, you know, it's been a hit, honestly, with the younger generation.
Really
they're enjoying
it,
actually.
Yeah. They're really enjoying it.
It targets not only the financial literacy, but what Nazaha comes in is in the values part. So we basically try to teach students the importance of, let's say, looking after, you know, the table, the desk, the chairs, even the school amenities itself. So these are all public or private owned, you know, items. So you have to look after them. So this is where we're trying to, you know, have a role in such projects.
Well, we have to raise our hats actually of that really amazing achievements. I have to admit, I really love those, let's say, booklets and stories there. You are trying to, let's say, plant the values, actually the manners within, let's say, all the young generation, the children and the students. That's really amazing. You are doing that. As you mentioned, it's not actually learning not to do the mistake, like learning, let's say, from the mistakes, which is really a great, let's say, quote actually. Could you elaborate on the confidentiality Nazaha provides when dealing with reports of the whistleblower? Yes,
of course. So basically, we have 3 different forms of protection, let's say. We have mainly the personal protection. So I know most people, they may, you know, ask if I come forward, I see, I don't know, some form of corruption in a way in my workplace, what should I do? So basically, we have a dedicated gate in Nazaha.
Yes.
It's mainly done for receiving the reports of the corruption cases. So as I said, it's discreet. There is no CCTV. Mobile phones are not even permitted. You have like a code or, you know, like a serial number.
Yes.
And the personal protection basically it gives them the confidence for them to come forward with any reporting. So let's say if a reporter or a whistleblower, let's say, comes forward and say, you know, I'm afraid of my life or whatever, you know, some people may harm me, you know, in a way or something.
Yes.
So we have a collaboration or a partnership with the Ministry of Interior to provide them with this protection, should we require so. I mean, alhamdulillah, it's not been done before, but from what I know, we have this agreement, and it's doable should we require so.
That's perfect.
And
yes.
moving on to the legal protection. So as part of also our collaboration, or basically, so when the reporter or the whistleblower comes forward, we provide them with legal protection whereby nobody can come or basically file a lawsuit
yes.
in return, you know. So this is, we're trying to protect him in the judicial, you know, entities. And last but not least, the administrative protection.
Okay.
So some people also, they have this, you know, worry that we don't want to come forward when it comes to, doesn't want to affect their you know, role in the work itself, in the workplace. So we assure them that it is safe. Yes. So nobody can come back to you when it comes to promotions, let's say, or even, you know, different forms of
yes.
analysis. Yeah.
That's really amazing. Actually, we have to actually appreciate your efforts and all the jobs you are working on, Nazaha, and best of luck. Actually,
thank you very
so much.
Thank you, Sarah.
All the thanks and appreciation to our dear guest Ahmad Al-Othman. He's a senior media specialist at Kuwait Anti-Corruption Authority in Nazaha. Don't go away, dear viewers. Let's have this tiny little break, and then we'll move on.